Turbo.
What's up, Turbo Zone?
Yo, welcome to the Turbo Zone.
Welcome.
We are very turbo.
We get style, turbo style.
Turbo points.
Yes.
Speed of points.
All right,
what we got
so
today?
we are here on a mission. We've got a purpose. We are in a very, very mad world.
We are a man's with a plans.
Men with plan. I make words. All right.
So,
Mad World.
MadWorld. Actually, before we start this, I actually wanted to say that this was actually the game that I was going to review, stemming off of my five cheap games video.
And I butted my way in. I totally infiltrated.
So to you guys you guys being like, I think like one person voted for it, but for whoever wanted the MadWorld review, here you go.
Yeah,
you get a whole duo video for it.
Yeah, buddy. All right. So, real quick, describe this game. One word.
Violent.
Oh, I was going for charming.
I was gonna go for violent,
Okay.
or maybe like style.
Okay, it's kind of a flesh of things. How would you describe like the gameplay? What is Mad World?
MadWorld is a super ultra violent hack and slash beat 'em up.
Yeah.
For your Nintendo Wii.
Good, yeah, good comparison there. I was definitely leaning towards the beat 'em up. I would even go so far as to argue it's like a kill 'em up.
Me?
It is.
Well, it
very,
is a kill 'em up. There's no argument.
And before we actually went that, this game, and it actually feels a lot like a PS2 game called God Hand because it's by the same developers. So, yeah. So,
but what role did Sega have here?
They just publish it mainly. It's by Platinum Games. Because Platinum Games, they're important now. Like, this was their first title. And now they're doing Star Fox. So that should tell you enough about Platinum Games.
Well, if Star Fox is anything like Mad World, there'll be lots of carnage.
I wish.
Dreams can happen.
All right, so Ted, you want to talk about? I don't know. What you want to start with here? You want to start with a story or something, or?
Well, let's talk about the game first, because I mean the story's good. I feel like it progresses well. I'd say story is a backdrop here to the action. How do you feel about that?
I feel like they both mesh pretty well because they don't spend too much time on the story, but the story itself does influence a lot of what's going on.
Yeah, it feels very cinematic almost, and the voiceover quality is really good here. I like the different character development, and this harkens back a little bit to maybe cinema culture, kind of like Sin City almost. Maybe Hellboy was a character.
Super cool. Stephen Bloom as Jack does a really good job.
Yeah, definitely.
But okay, yeah. So let's talk about the gameplay now. So let's jump on in with that then.
Right.
So what do you think about the gameplay here?
I saw lots of blood, and well, I mean, I'm not big into that kind of game, but I could appreciate this for having its own like sense of character and almost playing around with it. It was almost like a parody.
Oh yeah. I mean, what's black and white and red all over. It's called MadWorld.
Yeah, that's what I was going for. I was hoping you'd say that.
Really?
I didn't know that.
I really like enjoy the gameplay. It's it has a lot to offer for an old school beat 'em up fan. Say you like games like Street Rage and stuff. I feel like it kind of stems off that kind of heritage. Which is very cool. So.
Yeah, there is a lot of carnage. Basically, you get a lot of points by killing guys, and you kind of progress through the stage to get to like this boss battle. And there's a time limit, but the time limit never really matters.
No.
And basically, it's just kill or be killed.
Yeah, that's mainly what the game is. And what's really shocking, especially at the time, was that this is a Wii game, and this is it's that violent. It's that I don't know, because most Wii games are like sports or mini games or whatever, platformers. Like this at the time was really shocking.
And even more shocking, at this time, you can find this in a GameStop bin for $2.
Yes, and I think like even if you're not super into the gameplay, I think you can agree it's worth $2.
Oh, I mean, I'd buy two.
I'd buy all of them.
That's fair. Okay, so how about the aesthetic? Do you enjoy it?
I think I really love the art style, and I've heard people say that this game is it like it only used the black and white art style because it's a Wii game. And I feel like it's really unfair because I feel like there's tons of great looking Wii games.
Yes.
I feel like it used the art style in a very good and clever way to where you could tell that they were just running with this black and white comic book style.
Yeah.
That really worked.
It did work.
I think it worked.
Yeah, I like that, and in general, it kind of just plays around with it. Like I said, it is kind of like a parody of like that excessive violent film culture, and it's got like a lot of character to it. I enjoy things like like there's these cut scenes, with the bloodbath challenges and the shock TV.
And the Black Baron.
I love it. It's just it's a great sense of character. It's very humorous. Even like these loading screens, you can see like these little stick figures like getting killed.
And like the art style, like I would say, harking, but I said, I compared it to Streets of Rage earlier. It's also kind of like Comic Zone in the way that's also set up.
I was getting that sense too. At least when it comes to those cutscenes and whatnot, it really does feel like comic book esque.
Yeah, it feels really fresh, especially for this day and age, where everything's all brown and gray and violent. This is still violent, but it's not brown and gray. It's black and white.
Yeah. And it pulls it off well. I mean, the red is a nice touch, to throw in there. I guess it works well in contrast.
So I want to go ahead and open this up since we're talking about the style. What about the music here, Teddy?
Definitely, the hip hop fusion.
Yeah, how do you feel about the soundtrack? Because like I've heard some critics like diss the soundtrack because they say, oh, it's too why is it indie hip hop? Why can't it be like rock or something like that? But I feel like
this
works.
kind of it plays into that humorous style. I enjoy it for that, and also I mean, it's not like mainstream hip hop, and it's not like like really good hip hop either. It's just like good hip hop that's not overstating itself.
Yeah, I mean, and like a lot of the songs are really self aware, and like I have this game, actually and its sequel. Their soundtracks on my iPod because I really enjoy them that much.
Yeah, they're good. Do they loop as much?
Not when you buy that like get the actual music. They're like a good like 3-minute songs or so. So
and that's not to say the loops are bad in the game. I feel like they work towards its favor actually, and it doesn't sound repetitive.
They kind of have to loop it if they're going to use hip hop. You can't like have like a 12-minute hip hop song.
No, I mean it goes without saying with any game, but I mean hearing those same lyrics, you might think that would get boring, tiring after a while, but it really doesn't.
Well, yeah, and like they don't reuse a track. Like each level has its own track, and each boss fight has its own track. So you're always going to have a new track to listen to while you're playing the game.
That is true, and there's a good pace to each level within the worlds. They don't really take too long. I feel like I could get into it and just have like a quick hack and slash, gameplay.
And I love the progression of the levels too, because like while the hack and slash gameplay is fun, but you're always trying to work towards the boss of that area.
Right, and that could bring us into the scoring system right now, which works like this is kind of the beauty of the game is how you earn points and progress throughout. Mm-hmm. Basically, the best way to do it is to kill with style. Like the more you can bash an enemy, like stick a street sign through his head and then stick a garbage bin over him and throw him into the melting pot. You get bonus points for like combos.
Yeah, I mean, Jack's a man with a chainsaw strapped to his arm, but if you use that chainsaw constantly, you're going to get nowhere. You have to be able to, actually, get kind of creative with your kills, which is really cool too.
Yes, absolutely. And that chainsaw. that's a lifesaver for those boss battles, though. Except there are these cool things, these QTEs, quick time events for the boss battles. What'd you think of those?
I don't feel like they're too bad because they don't. I don't know. I feel like they're pretty easy to get into because okay, this is kind of transition into the motion controls because you're using motion controls for a lot of them.
Yes.
So whenever the thing says swing your Wiimote, you're gonna just swing your Wiimote. You don't have to worry about like hitting a button or anything. You have to worry about I don't know. I feel like it's very easy to get into with the the quick time events.
Yeah, I mean they are. If you want to be totally picky here, you could say they're gimmicky, but I feel like they work really well, and they kind of build up that intensity when you get into it. Like you have to beat the thing as fast as you can, and it helps you to take down the bosses. So
they work a lot better than playing other action games because I don't know how many other action games I've played where it's just like mash the square button, and I'm like why but like this is like use your hands to like cut this guy's arm off, and you're like, oh, okay.
Yes.
So
it does work quite well. All right, how do you feel this game progresses challenge-wise?
I feel like the challenge, I feel like it's pretty good for the most part. I'm not saying that there's not problems and there's not unfair moments.
Yes.
There are some later on in the game, definitely, but I feel like for the most part, the game doesn't throw too much at you, unless you're playing on the actual hard difficulty.
Yes.
So, Which, if you do like the hard games, there is a hard difficulty, so you always have the option.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah, it's very accessible, and I mean, it treats you fairly. Like, there are opportunities to pick up health. I love the dialogue that's going on in the background. The guy saying, like, drugs are good, when you take the
oh,
pills.
what's his name? John. Is it John DiMaggio? I don't know. The guy who plays like Bender and Jake from Adventure Time and stuff like that. Like that guy. He's one of the narrators. He's hilarious.
Yeah, there's some funny dialogue and stuff going on here.
Okay, so I guess we'll go ahead and talk about the story a little bit. I guess I don't know.
Yeah. Well, you want to kind of get into that?
Okay, so the story is about a man named Jack Kamen who enters in this contest called Death Watch, who's like, it's like this really like evil TV show that makes people like kill each other to be number one. It's kind of like Smash TV in a way, in the like way it's set up. But Prince Jack is progressing through the ranks, and as you move on, like throughout the story, you find out more and more about what's going on, and what this evil TV show and stuff. And it like I feel like it's a decent story to like set up the game, but I don't feel like it's anything too extraordinary.
No.
But it does its job well.
Yeah, and I mean it works. It keeps things interesting throughout. I mean, like the roster of characters and whatnot. Just conceptualization, everything. It's pretty nice. I like the settings. You go through like different maps in the city to Chinatown. And I like the sense of, I guess, exploration. The areas feel kind of narrow, but like it's still like characteristic. So
yeah, and like the areas have cool design, and you can tell they put a lot of work into those boss fights. I mean, some of them are super creative, like what's his name, Von Twisting Killer, the guy with the arms that make tornadoes.
Yeah. That was great.
So they put a lot of work into making sure that like each boss fight felt fresh and felt new.
And definitely, and I know I was saying this is hack and slash, but along the way to those boss fights, you go into these segments where it's like these bloodbath challenges, right? It's like these almost mini games of killing people, like throwing them across the
Black Baron comes out and explains your challenge to you.
Yes, before he gets brutally killed by his mistress.
and it's super funny. See, like this game has a fun sense of humor with it. They're like a lot of games nowadays are actually kind of missing. Especially violent games.
Yes,
are actually kind of missing. So.
Definitely, great character. Now, I did have a sentence completion for you here. People run around me in circles. It's a very, very... You don't know?
Is it a MadWorld?
It's a MadWorld, yes!
Oh god, what do I win?
Turbo points. Okay, bonus multiplier.
Okay, cool. I'll take it.
Okay. Anything else you want to throw in about the game?
I don't know. I feel like we covered pretty much the game. I would say it's a pretty short game, but then again, at $2, who cares?
Yeah.
And I feel like it's pretty replayable, especially with the points. To see how for each like level, what your max points will be, or how many you can get or whatnot. I feel like it does a good job.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like your game where you'd kind of like just sit down and play for hours. Maybe some others would. I can't do that. But for that quick 15-minute fix, like it does its job well.
Mm-hmm. It's pretty fun. I would disagree with that though. I'm the kind of person who can play this kind of game for a pretty long time. So whenever I first got this game, I got it when it not like soon after release. I got it, and I played it a couple times through. So.
Yeah.
But that's just me though. I like that kind of game. So.
Oh, definitely. I mean, yeah, I'm from a different era, or I don't want to say era, but like different kind of mindset. So no biggie. Well, that leaves you, the viewers, with a better idea of like how this game will fit you, I guess. Fit your personal style.
I will tell you, I think the final boss fight is worth it. And in my opinion, so especially if you've been enjoying the game's humor up to that point, right? Because the final boss is kind of like you don't really see it coming. So
sure, and I mean I'm not going to lead the viewers on here.
It's very cool.
I didn't finish this game, but I definitely got enough of a gist of it and enough entertainment out of it to feel like I was in a position of authority to talk about it. So that's why I kind of butted in here.
Do you think I should say what the last? Do you think I should say what the last fight is, or no? You should leave it to
leave it to interpretation. If they want a turbo surprise, they get it. You can get a turbo surprise. Turbo
it's the best kind.
Yes, the only kind.
All right, so I feel like we did a good job here. That was MadWorld. Would you recommend it, Teddy?
Yeah, absolutely. MadWorld, great game. Get it. That's all I gotta say.
Get it. Yeah, I would say get it. It's worth $2. And if you don't like the style, or if you're looking for something a little more HD, there also is a sequel called Anarchy Reigns for the
Nice.
PS3 and 360.
Okay.
So you can look into that too. So
Cool.
either one, it's a good game. But MadWorld is definitely I think it's a classic on the Wii. So.
Sure. I mean, it's definitely one of those character-driven games. It has like a lot of personality. So definitely Wii game. That should be in your collection. All right. I just got a little song for you guys. If you hear me out. Are you scared?
Go. No, go ahead. Go.
All around me are familiar faces, worn out places, worn out faces. It's a very, very mad world. All right, no, never mind. Cut.
I think you're doing a good job, man.
I can keep going. Mad world.
Mad world.
This game kind of reminded me of like Gears of War, with the chainsaw. Almost.
Oh yeah, kind of. Only it's cooler because it's stuck to his arm.
I also got some, Afro Samurai out of it.
Mm-hmm.
But
I
better,
think if I've learned
better.
anything over the years, it's that as long as you have a chainsaw strapped to your arm, you're good.
Yes, absolutely.
You're gonna make it.
Mm-hmm. Keeps things interesting.
That's something you should live by.
All right. If you made it through my song,
stuff.
Then you're a true Turbo Kong, and yeah, my singing prowess.
You know what? I think we should. I don't know. I think we should just thank you guys for watching.
Yes.
Thank you guys for watching this review.
Absolutely. I hope you enjoyed it. It has been mad.
I hope you're not mad.
No, me neither. I'm joyous. I'm just overzealous.
Happy World.
Yes. That could be a good prequel.
Happy World.
Yes.
It's before everything got all crazy. It's just Jack just hanging out, going to work.
Yeah. Martinis, bartending.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh, I feel like we've kind of outstayed our welcome here.
Okay. All right.
All right.
Turbo Zone.
Turbo Zone.